Let's be real for a second. In a world where our digital life feels like an open book, what if you could slam that book shut? Today, we're driving into something called Privacy Infinite, and its mission to build what it calls an architecture of digital silence. So I want you to think about the last message you sent, the last call you made. Are you 100% sure, absolutely certain, that nobody else could get their hands on it? That's the big question we're tackling today, and honestly, the answer is probably a lot more unsettling than you think.
But before we can even get to the solution, we've got to understand the sheer scale of the problem. We are living deep in an age of digital surveillance, and it has completely changed how we communicate with each other.
You've probably heard this phrase before, right? Data is the new oil. It's the whole idea behind what people call surveillance capitalism. Basically, our personal information, what we like, where we go, our private chats, has become this incredibly valuable thing to be mined, processed, and sold.
So how does this actually play out? Well, you've got algorithms constantly learning your tastes, you've got cookies that follow you from site to site like little spies, and maybe worst of all, our conversations are often just sitting on some company's servers forever. At the end of the day, our personal info has become the money we use to pay for all these free online services.
Okay, so that's the pretty bleak reality. But what's the alternative? Let's get into how Privacy Infinite is proposing a totally different way of thinking, framing it almost like a new declaration of independence for our digital selves.
Just look at this breakdown. On the left, that's the standard playbook. You know the drill. Give us your email, your phone number, jump through all these hoops. But on the right, the Privacy Infinite way just flips the whole table. No signups, no personal info needed, no complicated stuff. It's a huge shift from a world where you're the product to one where you're just the user.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it. The idea is that having a private conversation shouldn't require you to flash a digital ID card. It shouldn't be some premium feature. It should just be the default, simple, and easy for literally everyone.
All right, so that's the philosophy. But how does that turn into something you can actually use? Their entire approach is built around this one really powerful metaphor to make the whole idea of privacy feel real, the soundproof room.
So this is the core concept. A room isn't an account or a profile that follows you around. It's a temporary, secure digital space. And that analogy is just perfect, right? You walk in, you have your conversation, and the moment you leave, the room itself and everything that happened inside just vanishes. Poof!
And the process is so simple it's almost funny. It's just 4 steps. First, you create a room, and it spits out a random ID and password. Second, you share those details with someone. Third, you both use them to connect. And fourth, when you're done, the whole thing just disappears. That's it. No digital mess left behind.
Now that super simple experience is only possible because it's built on some seriously heavy-duty technology. So let's pop the hood and take a look at the technological fortress that makes this digital soundproofed room a reality.
It all comes down to 3 main pillars. You've got military-grade encryption to lock everything down tight, super fast WebSockets so there's no lag, and a zero-trace architecture to make sure nothing ever gets saved. Let's break those down real quick. First things first, encryption. They use AES-256, which is the same standard that governments and top security agencies trust with their secrets. And if that just sounds like a random name, get this. It's a cryptographic lock so strong it would take the world's fastest supercomputer literally billions of years to break. So yeah, it's not just secure, it's practically unbreakable.
And this right here, this might be the most important promise of the whole thing. On a lot of platforms, when you delete something, it's just hidden from you. Here, the entire system is designed to forget. Deleted means completely, totally, utterly gone. No logs, no archives, no breadcrumbs for anyone to follow. Ever.
And you might be thinking, okay, so this is just for texting? Not at all. This is a full-blown communication suite. You get that same insane level of security whether you're sending a quick message, sharing photos, having a face-to-face video call, or even sharing your location for a short period of time.
So the big question, if a platform is this powerful and it's not collecting your data, how in the world is it funded? This brings us to the final and maybe the most radical part of their entire approach, their promise and the business model behind it.
Well, take a look. The typical ways the internet makes money have been thrown right out the window. $0 from showing you ads, $0 from selling your data, and $0 from charging you a subscription fee. The whole model is built on one simple idea. Privacy should never, ever be stuck behind a paywall.
And this is the mission statement that drives that whole decision. It's such a powerful stance, right? They're framing security not as a fancy add-on, but as a basic human right. And that's absolutely vital for everyone, but especially for people who truly depend on it, like journalists, activists, or really anyone in a sensitive position.
So, at the end of the day, the entire platform really comes down to these three powerful words. Anonymous, because it never even asks who you are. Ephemeral, because your conversations are literally designed to disappear. And unbreakable, because it's wrapped in that military-grade encryption.
You know, in a world that is constantly listening, constantly tracking, and constantly analyzing everything we do, the ability to have a truly silent, private conversation is, well, it's a rare and powerful thing. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. In a world full of digital noise, what does a little bit of silence actually give you back?